Good afternoon. Well, I have done VEDA too, although it was quite by accident. Welcome to rainy Manchester. Very dull, very dreary day. I'm so glad that I didn't have plans. My lovely little furry friend has gone home. His parents came back from Amsterdam and they brought me a bunch of real tulips, which are in the kitchen, and also some wooden tulips, which are cute. And they've got like a picture of a windmill. So that's very sweet. That's going to go in my front room. So, right. Welcome to me, Jan, Urban Gypsy Crochet. This is actually a video I promised you the other day when I've got crochet magazines to review. But first of all, I'll show you. This isn't a blanket, by the way. It's going to be a movie night at the movies or whatever it's called. I haven't finished it off because I have to sew it up, you know, to make the front of it and crochet around the armholes. But I need to look at the pattern to get the measurement, you know, of how many inches I'm supposed to stitch up there. But this is how it's finished up. And as I ran out of black, that isn't actually added black, that's just the way the wool went, or the yarn went. As I had to add black onto it, I mean, it worked out quite well in the beginning. It looks like I've put black in it anyway. This is the one I've chosen to do for myself. And as I knew I maybe needed it bigger, this is why I did this one first. This one will be making an appearance on my Etsy shop shortly. The one I'm going to do for myself is done with the ice cakes chain, but because it doesn't have as much yardage in it, I'm going to add the black in, like right from the start, if you know what I mean, if I need to make it bigger. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we'll see how it works out. So that's the one I'm going to be using for myself, and I'm using the, sorry for crinkling, I'm using the ice. It's I don't know what it's called. I think it's the antibacterial one, I'm not too sure. Just says made in Turkey. Oh, here we go. Yeah, antibacterial, fragrant. I can't smell much, but I've not got a great sense of smell. Now, the smell of it drove Kelly crazy, but I can honestly say I can't really smell it. So that's what I'm using along with it. Right, the saga of my phone is that I now have a new one. Well, new to me one. I decided I preferred my son's old one that he's not using to the one that I had, because the one that I had was just driving me crackers. It kept bringing up things I hadn't added and I couldn't get rid of them, so when somebody rung me I couldn't get to where I could answer the phone because I had all these screens that came up that I couldn't get rid of, and even my son messed with it for about an hour yesterday and he couldn't get rid of it either. So we've finished up now. I've got my son's old phone, which is more basic. It will link to the internet, it will take photographs, which is more or less all I wanted to do anyway. So I've now been sending messages round saying, have you been trying to contact me in the last week? I haven't heard you. It kept saying, incoming, incoming. That's the thing for the messages coming in, but every time I went to look for them, I couldn't find them. So I've probably missed, I don't know how many phone calls, but that's the only thing I'm missing now on this new phone. Is I used to be able to press a little button and talk into it, because I've got fat fingers and I press too many keys when I'm trying to do the tapping. And I thought, oh, I'm growing nails now, I can do it with the end of my nail. No, it doesn't want the end of my nail, it wants my finger. But that is a minor detail. Minor detail. Right, what I said I was going to do is the magazines. Oh, and I haven't got one of the gifts with me. One of the gifts was like a pile of beads and sequins and everything. That was to make to trim the elephant. It had like yellow beads, they were sort of orangey pinky beads, and then all those were silvery sequins. And if you didn't want to do the elephant, then there was quite a few other things in the magazine that you could use the beads for. So let me see. The beads and that, I think, yeah, came with this magazine, which is the Simply Crochet magazine, issue 69. Which, I mean, I'd gone to another supermarket with my niece, I think I told you, but I decided to pop back to my main supermarket because they have magazines. Anyway, this is Simply Crochet. Again, it's another picture of the elephant's head. It's very, very cute, but I wouldn't do it to, you know. You know, even though it's big and it hasn't got fiddly bits, I still wouldn't do it because it's got fiddly bits sewing on all the beads, yeah. Let's see what we've got. Oh, that must be a super duper thick wool. It's not a pattern in the magazine. I forget to keep tipping it forward or away because the light's a bit bright, but I had to put the light on because it's so dark. They're like pouffe things or footstools or whatever you want to call them, but they're in super duper duper thick yarn, which, oh, do you know, I haven't been near Gigi since I put this dress on, so why am I covered in hair? One of life's mysteries. Right, let's have a look what's in this one. Things to hold things. Hope you can see it if I sort of take it away from the light a bit. Yeah, there. When I do that somehow or other, it blows it out, so I'm just hoping that you can see it when it's that way. I have to remember to leave it in front of the camera for a little while because then it focuses itself. Again, these are coasters or things to hang on a pegboard, stuff like that, yeah. I'm not sure what that one. I think it's just the handles on that system there, and of course that's a cover for your tablet or whatever, laptop, tablet, not sure what. I don't put mine in a cover because I don't take it anywhere. Although if I did, it would probably connect better to somebody else's Wi-Fi, like it does when I go next door. I'm not sure about that one, boho beads. It reminds me a little, even though I'm boho, it reminds me a little of something that you would put on a horse. You know? I mean, I did watch a programme once on fetish. I am not fetish, but it just reminded me. It was a silly programme with people who were dressing up as horses and galloping round, and it was quite a thing, you know. I really didn't see the point of it, but then I'm just boring. But that's what it looked like. They were dressed up like horses and wore harnesses, and that's what that reminds me of. I watch some bizarre things at times. Not by choice. They usually, you know, you're watching one programme and it drifts into another one and you think, what on earth is that? Yes. You know, whips and chains just went right by me. And that's one thing I'm not sorry about. That one is a poncho of some description, but it's very, very lightweight, like an airy one, more of a beach cover-up. Something that's pretty, but not something I would wear. Now, I like that, even though I don't make blankets, as you know, but I do like the colours in that. But of course, it's not in the magazine, it's a pattern by Stylecraft, but it's a nice, bright, jazzy blanket. Oh, that's what else you can use the razzle dazzles for. If you don't want to make the elephant, you can make a necklace and put them on. They're just shiny bits of like metal beads with holes at the top. I just would be a little afraid that they might be a bit sharp, but I haven't felt them because I haven't opened the package. Because you know what happens when you open a package of beads. You're picking up beads for hours and hours. And the vacuum doesn't like them either. Right, this one looks like it's quite a fine sweater. It's called Spring Greens with little tassels on it. I must admit it's not exactly floating my boat for myself, you know. But someone else may like it. Who am I? Just because I don't like it doesn't mean everybody else doesn't like it. Right, again I'm not keen on that. They're supposed to be feathers, but they look a bit strange for feathers. They're too much. Feathers usually have a bit more shape to them, don't they, let me say. They start off bigger at one end and then they go narrower to the end, and they tend to look as though they're the same shape all the way down. So to me they don't really look like feathers, but that's by the by, isn't it? This is a shrug. It looks as though it's very lightweight. Oh, it's done with 5 skein mini sock sets, so it's very, very slightly graded, if you can see it or not. And it's done in 5 different colours of 25 grams of sock yarn. I suppose you could do it all in one colour though, because these sock yarn mini things tend to be very well, they're expensive to me. Maybe not expensive to the rest of the world, but to me they're expensive. I'm a cheapskate and I don't mind admitting it. Don't mind admitting it. Right, these are one of those things, they give somebody some yarn and they ask them to create something. So the ones that have been winners type of thing have come up with 2 different designs of bags. So, whoops-a-daisy, let's go a bit further. Oh. That I definitely wouldn't do. You get a denim jacket and you trim it up with a bit of pink crochet. No. Even if I wore blue denim, I wouldn't want to trim it with a bit of pink crochet. If I trimmed it at all, it would probably with some embroidery or something like that. That's in the next issue. That's definitely more me. That's a jazzy kind of. I hope it's in double knitting when it arrives, because it doesn't actually say so. It looks as though it might be, because I have still got lots of, you know, things left over. This is Prepare for Yarn Age, Yarn Agadon, whatever it is. It's probably using up very, very, very chunky yarn to make baskets and things. I keep saying I'm going to do that, you know, because I'm not into these. I love scrap blankets, don't get me wrong, but I'm just not into making them. But I might put all my scraps together and make a basket. That might be part of my, you know, thing. Although that one looks a bit too thick for me. You know, a bit chunky. But that's on my agenda, is making a basket. You know, a big basket I'm talking. I'm not talking a little one. I wouldn't have much use for a little one, really. That's a bag. Done with granny squares and different things, yes. Still haven't lined my bags. Yes, naughty me. Now, although I don't like amigurumis making them, I do like that one. I think it's quite a sweet little bird. For those of you who've got really good hearing, who normally hear my clock ticking, if you can hear any noises, it's the rain drumming on the roof. This section of the house, which is an addition, is got a flat roof, and so when it rains hard, it does sound like that you're in a mobile home and it's battering on the roof. Yeah, sounds a bit like that. New season yarns. Rico, Paint Box, Rowan, Hayfield, Cascade and Sherry's or something. Oh, that Jeeps or Shagers or whatever it's called. Those are the new colours. I get confused with what they call the new colours for spring or something like that. Some people are saying, oh, it's pastel colours, it's this, that and the other. Other people are saying, oh, it's purple, blah, blah, blah. So I looked at a few fashion parades, you know, from these big designers. You know, the ones who make ludicrous things that you would never ever wear, but I still like to look at them for colour ideas and things. And they just had such a variety of different colours that, you know, there was not one colour that stood out on the catwalk, so I suppose it's just wear what you feel like, isn't it? I'm not sure this is supposed to be a blanket. Yes, it is a blanket. I hope you can see it because I'm doing it slightly off centre, but I'm trying to shield it from the light because I have to have my, it's a big square diffuser, but I have to have it on because it's so dark, otherwise you won't see a thing. So I'm just hoping that you can see everything. I don't have one of those fancy cameras that shows me what I'm filming. You know, I told you. Other things are on my agenda for use of money. That's waffle stitch. I do like actually doing that waffle stitch. I wouldn't do a blanket or anything in it, but it's nice if you're making a hat or a scarf or something. I know plenty of people who've done like lovely blankets like that, changing colours and things. But my patience is not that far. Now that pattern I've actually bought. It's a King Cole pattern. You know, both Sue and I like that pattern. Not sure if I would do it in all different colours like that. Whether I would just stick to the one, I'm not too sure about that. But I do like the actual stitch. Or the square. It's the square, isn't it? Right, well I've got all the dooberies to do with this next one. This is the 100th edition. Oh, I do have the beads. I do beg your pardon. That went with the other magazine. I do have them. I thought I hadn't got them. They were there. That's what's used on the elephant and used on the, you know, the shiny things like that. As you see, I haven't opened them because I don't want to have beads everywhere. I mean, the bigger beads are fine, but I don't think I'd ever find a use for the teeny weeny little ones. They're a bit too small for me. Right, I have the 100th edition of Inside Crochet, so I don't need to tell you what number it is. It's 100, and that's the front cover of it, yeah. And this is what came with it. I need to look through the magazine to find out what I'm supposed to be using this teeny weeny ball with. It's yarn. Does it say yarn and non-colours or something? I don't know. I don't know what it is actually. Maybe I could read it better. It does say antique pink. Tells me what colour it is. It's such a tiny little ball. It's probably only got about 5 grams in it, but it's certainly a nice feeling cotton. Well, that came with, it's called Join the Party. I presume that's a little box to keep your stitch holders in. It's got a crochet hook, which I'm not sure what size it is, sewing up needles, and the sort of weirdy little hook things. I suppose they're meant to be stitch markers or something, or stitch holders, or not stitch holders. What do they call them? Markers that you put on your needles and your crochet hooks anyway. You know, to show progress keepers and things like that. I suppose that's what it's supposed to be. Because you don't exactly need a stitch holder when you're doing crochet, do you? And yeah, so here we go. Hang on, before we go any further, I've got my macchiato caramel coffee. Not a Starbucks because I'm too mean to pay the price of Starbucks. And I do actually find it a little bitter actually, Starbucks. Dare I say that among a community that loves coffee? Who's always watching this, she'll be going, oh, coffee, you don't like that? Right, okay. And I really am weird. I do not like, you know, the expensive percolated coffee. That sets my teeth on edge. It's far too strong for me. I'm just a normal, how can I put it, run-of-the-mill housewife who likes instant coffee. I mean, I will drink Starbucks or Costa, which we have around here. We don't have a Starbucks. But I don't drink a lot of dairy, although I do drink some milk because of my osteoporosis. And but somehow or another, when I have one of their coffees, you know, in a coffee shop, it sets my stomach off. I've got IBS as well. Gosh, I'm making a video about magazines here, and I'm giving you a list of my ailments. Just ignore. Right, we've got the 100th edition, so let's look what we've got in it. That one says hang out the buntings, which is quite cute. I think there's a closer picture somewhere inside, yeah. I do like Bohemian bunting, I must admit. This one says party time. It's showing the t-shirts which have got all these crochet flowers stitched to them, which I'm sorry will not be appearing on my body. The other day my friend Jennifer said, have you got a t-shirt on? And I went, but it's black velvet. Because it's a joke, you see, because I never wear a t-shirt. Well, hardly ever wear a t-shirt, let's say. I do have a t-shirt somewhere with Urban Gypsy Crochet on, which I can't find. If I find it, I'm going to wear it when I go up to the Woolfest, yeah? So that everybody knows who I am before they know who I am, if you know what I mean. I'm not proud, I'll just brag. This is me. This one's got buntings and cushions and whatever you've got. All things, I suppose, for a celebration, in keeping with it being the 100th edition. That's, again, different things for the party. That sweater is huge, absolutely mega huge. I don't know whether it's because they wanted to fit party on it, but it is huge. And we've got some more things. That bag there is actually made by the lady who does the Zines and Rogers videos. I try to watch her. I do like her videos and that, but sometimes, you know, I told you, when they're about an hour long, I go, oh, do I really have an hour to spare to sit and watch this? I do sometimes watch them when I'm in the other room, when I can watch them on the TV. But of course, if you ever watch things on another media type of thing, you can't comment. So I always forget to go back and tell the person that I've actually watched it, you know what I'm saying? So there's various things there. So if you don't always get a comment from me, don't panic. It doesn't mean I haven't watched you. It just means I've watched you on the TV, yeah? So, the big reveal. What's the big reveal here? Oh, it's about the mystery blanket. That must be what it's supposed to be when it's all done. Seeing as I haven't been crochet, I don't like crochet alongs or cowls or whatever they call them. I just don't do them. Now that's another little amigurumi for those of you who like making them. Tip it forward. Do you know, there's so many things I've got to remember. Tip it forward so you can see it. I watch it back and I think, oh, I've got the light shining on that. People can't see it. That's a blanket and a wall hanging. I really should have a camera with the thing on that you can turn around so you can see what you're videoing. That's kind of me. Being the old agey hippie. There's the actually the girl from Zines and Rogers. I think she's called, what's she called, Rose? Not Rosita. What is she called? Gone. Old age. Gone. She was looking at that saying, oh, I really like that. She had made herself a beautiful, on her video, if you watch it, she's got a beautiful, like a granny stitch sweater with like a lowish neckline. It's not top down or anything. But I went on Ravelry and looked at the pattern and it was £6. And I thought, it's a lot of money that for a pattern. Well, for me it is anyway. So I reluctantly went, I shall just have to design one myself, you know, just play it by ear and just do granny stitch. That says a folklore blanket, but I'm covering over the stitch, the pattern, what do you call it, the chart. It looks like a cushion cover to me, but maybe you just go bigger. Or maybe you make squares, I really don't know. Yeah, that's the party sweater, it's absolutely massive. Because I'm a big girl, I don't like wearing things that are too, you know, over large, because instead of making me look slimmer, they make me look massive, like some massive, great big thing on little legs, you know. So I tend to wear things that sort of semi-fit me. I don't like tight things because I think they do emphasise every bulge, but I like things with just a little room in them, yeah. Now you see that I wouldn't wear because it just looks like you're sprouting crochet feathers on top of your t-shirt, which is, whoops, drunk again. See what one macchiato caramel does for you? As you know, I am not much of a drinker. As I said before, I'm not teetotal, it's just that I just don't really drink, you know. That's a stole. I don't think I'm giving much away if I show it that way as well. That way as well. It's called Celebration Shawl. Stunning striped shawl is worked in cool linen blend. I mean, I do love working in cotton linen, don't get me wrong, but I have to wait for a bargain or a sale price, you know. I mean, I used to do it, but I used to do some lovely yarns, but as you say, the postage is... But having said that, even though the postage is expensive with ice yarns, it still works out cheaper per ball than it does for me to buy it in the UK. But, I mean, I get really agog when I watch hauls and things from the US when people hold these massive balls of yarn up and say, I had to pay $6 for this, and I'm thinking, yeah, but look at the size of it, it's massive. You know, I can pay the equivalent of $5 for a little 50-gram skein or something decent. That's Pretty Petals. I suppose they're doilies or they're placemats or coasters. I'm not sure what they are. Let me move it round. Keep forgetting the light, don't I? Come to the light. Those are cute if you've got kiddies having a party, I think, just to make them a nice little crown would be nice. I'm past all that stage and my great-grandchildren won't wear them anyway. I sent the hats, you know, with the little animals sewn on them, down to my niece. Well, I didn't send them, her mum sent them. And she knows that the little girl will wear them, but she's not sure whether the little boy will. I said, well, just cut the little things off, they're only stitched on. I don't mind if he just wears the hat on its own. I just thought there was a chance that he might still like them, but he's getting that age, you know, where they get a bit fussy. You don't want to seem a bit childish, you know, he's getting to that age. Party wine glass charms. Well, I don't know whether anybody I know would want a sort of a cake or a carrot or something dangling off the wine glass. I mean, I have seen them done like with beads and things for Christmas. They look quite pretty, but... oh, that's what's in next month. The 101st edition. That's a blanket. Again. I never really understand why magazines have to put blanket after blanket that's like run-of-the-mill. You know, by now we've all got a pattern, haven't we, for granny square blankets. We've all got a pattern for granny stitch blankets. So, you know, it's... I just don't understand it. That's a buggy blanket, so I suppose it's a bit smaller than a baby blanket. I mean, that is different because it's got, you know, raised petals and things. Right, let's have a look. We're getting towards the end now. A bobble and chevron cushion. I mean, I do like these crochet cushions because I think they look very, very bohemian. But as I say, when I have dogs and things like that, they get their feet stuck in them. Oh, it was funny. My son came on Sunday and he moved, you know, the lovely blanket that everybody sent to me. He moved it and put my cushions on top because he just likes to sit on the sofa and not on anything else. And Gigi's face, it's like, who's messed with this sofa? Who's done this to my sofa? So I had to straighten everything out for him so he could find his level where he wanted to sit, because he loves the blanket, I'm afraid to say. He does love it. If it's not on the sofa, he goes crazy. He wants his blanket. He's got his own, but somehow or another he likes mine. This is granny bunting. If I try to cover up everything, I don't know whether you can see it or not. You do granny stitch oblongs, I suppose, and then you put them all together. And then this is Floribunda bunting. I've got some bright coloured bunting that I used to use when I had did the craft shows. I used to put the brightly coloured bunting across the front of my stall, and I've still got that. I'm not getting rid of it. Somebody said put it on eBay, Etsy, and I said no, I'm not, because I want it in my craft room when I get around to it. The thing is, since I had new windows and the new PVC windows, I'm a bit sort of scared about putting anything on them in case it marks them or stays stuck to them forever. I'll get some of those strip things, I think, that are supposed to go on and then peel off and whatever. That's a party hat if you feel like wearing a cone on your head. As long as they don't put a big D on the front of it, you know. You know, when we have a crochet pattern we don't understand, you know, sit in the corner with a big D on the head. That's the wall hanging. I've seen some absolutely gorgeous wall hangings that I would love to do, but most of them are macrame. Now, I did actually learn to do a bit of macrame, but I'm talking when I was a teenager. You know, when everybody had those macrame hanging basket things with a plant in. We used to have a big spider plant, you know, in the bathroom that grew and grew and grew. In fact, it grew long and it had these babies, you know, and I had it hanging in the corner above the toilet. And my ex, who's taller than me, used to start complaining because a lot of them were sort of reaching the top of his head, saying, will you replant these babies? They're getting on my nerves now. I gave away, wow. And now, sadly, I don't even have one anymore now. But I gave away, you know, like. And every time my son was having autumn fair or something at school, I used to send these little plant things, you know, in little plant holders, hoping that somebody would buy them for a few pennies, you know, just to help the school funds along. Yeah, that's the tank top, which it's very, very retro, but I still like things like this. I'm just a granny stitch, granny square kind of person. I'm an old hippie, I'll admit it. An old hippie who never tried the drugs. I was in the right era, but no, I never wanted to. Never appealed to me. When they were passing around the spliff, I just passed it right past me. I just never did. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what that is supposed to signify. It says a good right hook and all it shows is bandages. Doesn't show any yarn at all. But there's a 10% off if you quote that number. So that is me. So it's either VEDA 2 or it's just a crochet magazine review, isn't it? With an update on this, which I'm now going to sew together when I look up the pattern and find out how many inches I've got to sew, you know, for the... I'll show it you again when it's finished and I've got the cuffs on it. The cuffs will have to be plain black because, you know, I've got none of that left. But actually, looking at it, it's It might be big enough for me because I don't like things over large. I know some people have made these shrugs and they're massive. They're like bat's wings, you know, they're huge. I don't like my things, as I said before, too big. I like them roomy, but not too big. Because to me they're not flattering. They're just big. Well, I'm looking out at the weather here and it is absolutely depressing. As I said, I had all intentions of getting up early today and starting the sewing, you know, but didn't do, sorry. Maybe tomorrow when I don't have Gigi. Maybe tomorrow. Who knows? And for those of you who stuck it out for 3 hours with me on the live video that I did on Saturday, I think it was, yeah. I will do another one. I'm not promising every Saturday or whatever, because I don't want to tie myself into doing it on a certain day, a certain time. I maybe do one this Saturday, or I maybe do one the Saturday after. But this time I will put in the Urban Gypsy on the Facebook page, that I'm planning to do one. I don't know how you do these link things. I'll have to have a word with my technical editor, Zoe. I'll have to send her a message. You watching, Zoe? Tell me how to do these link things, will you? Because I know she can do them. And Sharon, you can do them, can't you, as well? Somebody let me know how to do it, because you know how thick I am. But letters of one syllable, please, if you're telling me how to do it, because, as you know, I'm just technophobic or whatever. If it doesn't come easy, I don't do it. I joined an online community, I can't remember what it was now. I'm so bad at this, aren't I? So rubbish at doing these videos. And before you could join, you had to answer these questions like, what kind of crocheter are you? And I'm thinking, well, I'm not experienced because there's lots of things I can't do, you know. So I just put intermediate, hoping to improve. Because experienced crocheters, I mean, when I look at some of the crochet that other people do, I mean, my jaw just drops, because even with all of my experience, I'm thinking, oh, wow, that is so clever. I know I couldn't do that, you know. Because some people are just natural designers, natural, they pick things up quickly. I mean, the Spanish and the Russian girls and, oh, any Eastern European, they do some fabulous, fabulous things. I have no patience for fine crochet. You would have to be a super fast crocheter, wouldn't you, to do things like that. And, you know, things that are embroidered. Yeah, right. Wished I could embroider. I was supposed to have learnt to embroider, but I was about 6, so you can, you know, the old brain's forgotten most of that. You know, people who do this fabulous wool embroidery, you know, that make like 3D flowers with the wool and that. Oh, gosh. There's a lady who does shawls. I did once put a picture of one of her shawls on my Urban Gypsy page a while ago, a long while ago. And she does these fantastic shawls, and they've got all embroidered flowers on them and everything. You know, they're super duper. But I couldn't do them unless I really, really sat and concentrated. Maybe I might be able to produce some lopsided flowers. But then, you know, as you say, time is money. If I were to spend 100 hours just doing the embroidery alone, you know. So, no, I stick to things that I can reasonably price. You know, things that don't take me a year to make or 3 months to make, yeah. I try to pick things that I enjoy making, and hopefully other people enjoy seeing or enjoy to buy them, you know. If I did something really fabulously fantastic in fine crochet cotton or fine thread, and you're asking like £200 for it because you've taken you 3 months of your life to do it or something, you know, it would just sit in the shop, it wouldn't sell. That's why I don't use cashmeres and things like that, because, you know, they just wouldn't sell. I know I'm saying that without trying it, but it's too expensive for me to experiment with, if you know what I'm saying. because I know that if I did pick a colour and make something in cashmere, people would say it's lovely, but can you do it in black? Can you do it in red, purple, green, sky blue, pink with a yellow dot on it, as my dad used to say? So I know for a fact I would pick the wrong colour, and I would pick the wrong style, I would pick the wrong size. So that's why I don't use anything expensive. Because if it's inexpensive yarn or sale yarn, if it doesn't sell, eventually I can always unravel it. I refuse to say the word flop. Don't like it. It's unravel, unpick, whatever you want to call it. But I just hate that word. It makes me, you know, like chalk on a blackboard. I just don't like it. I'm weird. And let's face it, if you've been watching me for a long time, you know that I'm weird, yeah. I've always been, I wouldn't say weird so much as eccentric, but I am eccentric these days a lot in my mind, rather than actually expressing myself. What I would love to wear would be really Stevie Nicks kind of boho gypsy things all the time. But I have to be practical, because when I wear the boho skirts and I go out on my scooter, I did rip one to shreds because it got caught under the wheels, and that was sad because I did like that skirt, but I finished up wearing a mini skirt because it ripped right across the tears. So there is a limit to what I can sort of wear. Also, my family might think she's gone even more than what we knew. I think I told you that my son once, when he was small obviously, said it isn't easy growing up with a dingbat for a mother. So by dingbat I think he must have meant somebody that was like a little bit eccentric or strange, yeah. I don't think there's an animal called a dingbat, but you never know. Sounds vaguely sort of Australian, doesn't it? You know, there's a dingbat flying by. But I'm going to go now, and I'm going to sew the sleeves up on this and do the cuffs. And hopefully, start the red, grey and black and cream one. I don't know if it's cream or white. I see it as a very, very pale cream, although it could be white. Sue sees it as white. I'm hoping to hear from Sue this week, hoping that she's going to come and see me. She's still working it. All the hours at whatever, you know. Slow down, woman, we want to see you. If you're watching, Sue, take the hint. Everybody wants to see you. As for Sue doing a live video, she wouldn't be able to do that because our live videos, I do my live video on my PC. And also, we'd have to sit like that, squashed together. But she wouldn't be here at the time of night I do my live videos, because I have to do them late at night in my time, in order to give people in the US chance to see them like in their afternoon time or whatever. Because if I was to do it in the daytime, then you would probably be in bed. Anyway, I'm going to go now. Whether I do VEDA 3 is up for whatever. Somebody said I should do vlog every other day in April, or vlog every now and again in April. I should call it that instead of a VEDA. So, right, I'm going to go. It's still raining, it's still horrible. So I'll finish my macchiato caramel drink and finish this off. So, oh, excuse me, I have to get up to get to the camera. Again, I don't even have a little thing that turns it off. So bye for now. Enjoy the rest of your Easter. Bye now.